Welcome to the Thea Lee podcast. Today is January 23rd, 2026, and we are on day 23 of reading through the Bible. So today we continue our conversation between Job and his friends and Job and God. Right now, Eliphaz, his friend, starts talking. He says, "A wise man wouldn't answer with such empty talk. You are nothing but a windbag. The wise don't engage in empty chatter. What good are such words? Have you no fear of God, no reverence for him? Your sins are telling your mouth what to say. Your words are based on clever deception. Your own mouth condemns you, not I. Your own lips testify against you. Were you the first person ever born? Were you born before the hills were made? Were you listening at God's secret counsel? Do you have a monopoly on wisdom? What do you know that we don't? What do you understand that we do not? On our side are aged, gray-haired men, much older than your father. Is God's comfort too little for you? Is his gentle word not enough? What has taken away your reason? What has weakened your vision, that you turn against God and say all of these evil things? Can any mortal be pure? Can anyone born of a woman be just? Look, God does not even trust the angels. Even the heavens are not absolutely pure in his sight. How much less pure is a corrupt and sinful person with a thirst for wickedness? If you will listen, I will show you. I will answer you from my own experience, and it is confirmed by the reports of wise men who have heard the same thing from their fathers, from those whom the land was given long before any foreigners arrived." Then he goes on to say pretty much that all of the bad things that have happened to Job are because he is wicked. The wicked writhe in pain throughout their lives. The sound of terror rings in their ears. The dark day terrifies them. They live in distress and anguish like a king preparing for battle. They shake their fists at God, defying the Almighty. Wicked people are heavy and prosperous, but their cities will be ruined. Their riches will not last. They will not escape the darkness. Then Job replies, "I have heard all of this before. What miserable comforters you are. Won't you ever stop blowing hot air? What makes you keep on talking? I could say the same things if you were in my place. I could spout off criticism and shake my head at you. But if it were me, I would encourage you. I would try to take away your grief. But instead, I suffer if I defend myself, and I suffer no less if I refuse to speak." And then he speaks to God. "O God, you have ground me down and devastated my family. As if to prove I have sinned, you've reduced me to skin and bones. My gaunt flesh testifies against me. God hates me and angrily tears me apart. He snaps his teeth at me and pierces me with his eyes. People jeer and laugh at me. They slap at my cheek in contempt. A mob gathers against me, and God has handed me over to sinners. He has tossed me into the hands of the wicked. I was living quietly until he shattered me. He took me by the neck and broke me to pieces. Then he set me up as his target, and now his archers surround me. His arrows pierce me without mercy, and the ground is wet with my blood. Again and again he smashes against me, charging me like a warrior. I wear burlap to show my grief. My pride lies in the dust. My eyes are red with weeping. Dark shadows circle my eyes. Yes, I have done no wrong, and my prayer is pure. O earth, do not conceal my blood. Let it cry out on my behalf. Even now my witness is in heaven. My advocate is there on high. My friends scorn me, but I pour out my tears to God. I need someone to mediate between God and me, as a person mediates between friends. For soon I must go down that road from which I will never return. My spirit is crushed, and my life is nearly snuffed out. The grave is ready to receive me, and I am surrounded by mockers. I watch how bitterly they taunt me. You must defend my innocence, O God, since no one else will stand up for me. You've closed their minds to understanding, but do not let them triumph. They betray their friends for their own advantage, so let their children faint with hunger. God has made a mockery of me among the people, and they spit in my face." He goes on to say how his hopes have disappeared and his heart's desires are broken. But then he finally comes back and says, "No, my hope will go down with me to the grave. We will rest there together in the dust." Then his friend Bildad comes back and responds, "How long before you stop talking? Speak sense if you want us to answer. Do you think that we are mere animals? Do you think that we are so stupid? You may tear out your hair in anger, but will that destroy the earth? Will it make the rocks tremble? Surely the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. The sparks of their fire will not glow. The light in their tent will grow dark. The lamp hanging above them will be quenched. The confident stride of the wicked will be shortened. Their own schemes will be their downfall. The wicked walk into a net and they fall into a pit. The trap grabs them by the heel. A snare holds them tight. Terrors surround the wicked and trouble them at every step. Hunger depletes their strength and calamity waits for them to stumble. Disease eats their skin. They're torn from the security of their homes. Their roots will dry up. All memory of their existence will fade from the earth. Then people will say, "This was the home of a wicked person, the place of one who rejects God." This is so interesting because I guess it should show us that we should not think that we understand the character of God, and we should be really careful about judging our friends. At the beginning of this story, we have this conversation between God and Satan, where God says that Job is a man of complete integrity. So we know that he is without blame. And then these friends come and they're telling him that all of these things must have happened to him because he's wicked. Even though Job says that he is innocent and hasn't done anything wrong, they don't believe him and they assume that they know the character of God. They're saying that there isn't anybody who can be pure and of integrity, but obviously we know that he is. It also makes me think of the fact that Satan took Job's children, but he left his wife. And then Job's wife immediately comes to him and says, "Just curse God and die." So she was really not helpful. And so it makes me wonder if Satan allowed these friends to come see Job, to see if Job would still stand firm, even when all of his friends were saying the opposite. I kind of hate to call them friends because they're not really acting like his friends here. They're not being encouraging. This is my takeaway, is that we should not be so quick to judge people. If we see someone going through a lot, we should try and encourage them, or maybe just stay quiet. Thanks for listening. We'll talk again tomorrow.